Welcome to the Surgeons Podcast. You never know who we'll be here with, what we'll be talking about, all that good stuff. Tell me about AAU.
So how it all happened?
Should you tell me about game elements first?
Yeah, because game elements is probably understands how the AAU came about. So basically, I started game elements because my son Rocco plays for Northside Wizards. He plays in the rep program.
Yeah.
He made SPP, but then when it comes to that tail end where they start cutting players. He would never make the final cut to make the team. And so then after that, then there's kind of nothing for them.
Yep.
So then I was looking for other opportunities to be able to give Rocco and his mates. Because there was a lot of his mates are in the Queensland system or whatever that were kind of looking for other ways to play basketball. And then I knew about AU. I knew a lot about AU, and I heard it was in Australia, but I couldn't really find out where it was or how it was happening. I found out that there was a local basketball brand or whatever that took kids down to the AU, but they never did it again.
In America, or are you talking about in Melbourne?
Okay, in Australia. And so I was like trying to find about that, but then they said they're not doing it anymore. And then I tried to find out what AU tournaments are on. I found there was a Big Chill in Melbourne, and I thought, cool, I want to do that. And then there was a gentleman that was trying to get me to do it, but I had to find all the players. And I was kind of like, well, if I'm finding the players, I'm just going to do my own thing.
Yeah.
And so my best friend owns Game Clothing, so that's a sponsored game.
Oh, okay.
And I wanted to come up with his
You just stole.
Yeah. So,
hey, I'm going to steal that and add a little extra.
So I said to him, like for you to sponsor me, I want Game to be part of it. So we came up with Game Elements.
Yeah.
And that's how it happened. So then I then got Rocco and said, hey, who do you want in your team? And it was pretty much all the kids that you kind of see in his under 16 Game Elements team.
Okay.
And their parents kind of said, yeah, cool, let's do it. And then I had my first taste of AU in Australia. And it was the coolest experience because...
For you or your son?
For everyone. Yeah. So I'll explain why is because we did it with my dad came down, my wife, some of the parents of the kids came down, and we just Airbnb'd it in this house that we all slept, like it would hold all of us.
Yeah.
And it was unreal. We just
it's like a cool family holiday. Yeah.
It was just everyone going down, everyone supporting each other, one team. And it was like some of the coolest experience probably if you were to go back to any of our kids, they remember that one trip because it was just fun. Like it was just so much fun. Oh. And then kind of I saw how AU was ran down there, and I kind of could see the difference for me was you would play, like it would go like this. So you would play like some really good teams and then some really teams that probably shouldn't be playing at that level, I suppose.
Yeah.
And so we'd beat teams from because we went down with a team that was
Were you about to say 100?
Yeah. It was 100. Yeah, beat by 100. But then you'll turn around and then win by 20 or lose by 5.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So it was really it's this whole thing of the brackets basketball where you tape it to the top, and how do you regulate that. The competition so that you don't have those blowouts. So it was really, really difficult, right? So I kind of took it for myself going, look, I could see this and I wanted to do it again. So within the space of like 3 months, I went back down for the Spring Madness they had.
Okay.
And I took 5 teams. So I went from 1 to 5 and I took a girls team, started girls basketball, which they weren't doing. So I really kind of pushed that to happen. Took down under 18 boys, 2 16 boys, 1 14 boys, and
this is your second time Game Elements did anything?
Like within 3 months.
Oh wow!
Yeah, so I really just when I have an idea, I just it's full steam. I'm going to achieve it. I'm going to do it. So that was what I wanted to do. And in the same token, I wanted to go down there and show them that I'm serious about the sport and I'm serious about the growth of sport, and that I wanted to hold my own tournament in Queensland, and I wanted to represent AU in Queensland. So they could see what I had done in the short span of
3 months.
And
they're like, this guy's insane. We need him.
And so they had a meeting with James, president of AU. Signed away, and I bought the license for Queensland, and then had my first tournament this time last year.
Last year. That was the first one last year.
That was the first one, yeah.
I was at that one last year.
Yeah, and there was only 40 teams, I think, at that one, yeah.
You say only. Well, because we'll get to now.
Yeah.
So last year, few kids asked, hey, one kid asked, hey, like, we have this AAU team, we're playing in it. It was under 16s. They're like, can you help us? I'm like, yeah, sure. And so I got to see the thing. And like I told you before I had went there, I was skeptical at first.
Yeah,
I told you this when I met
you.
I told you this when I met you.
Yeah.
And did you want me to say the differences?
Yeah, go. You can do.
So last year, I noticed that my team and a few of the other kids didn't play with a certain intensity that I like to see. They weren't listening to me. It's not about me, but they weren't listening to coaches in the team. They weren't listening to the coaches in the way that we expect them to. And I noticed refs were really had a short leash on anybody saying anything. Tech. It was one game that we had like 5 techs just from looking at someone. And so I left the experience looking like, okay, this is a different brand of basketball. And at first, even as I was leaving, I'm like, I don't know how to feel about it yet. But then I actually talked to some of the kids, talked to people who were also there. And their whole thing was like, you don't have to hate on this because it's different to the system that's already in place. We get to play a different style of basketball, and we're not penalized for it. Yeah. And when I heard that, I was like, oh, okay. There's something there. Yeah. Just from hearing it from them. And then this year, when we went champions, this year when I went with a different team, I just noticed the level of play went up insanely.
100%.
The fouling wasn't as extreme as it was the year before, in my opinion. Not fouling. I just mean
I would agree with that. Like it's very.
I love how the refs handled this year, and the level of play just shocked me this year. To be honest, much more teams, much more all the other stuff that happened, but the level of play it shocked me. Yeah, from all the age groups, not just the you have the.
I'd agree. Yeah.
Am I wrong? Am I off? What have you?
No.
Just tell me.
I would agree. I think the issue with the first one was like that's my opportunity to make a stance and go, hey, no, we won't be accepting kind of poor sportsmanship or poor behavior in celebrating and all that. Because I think there's a fine line. Like there's definitely. We want that atmosphere. We want that kind of, celebration and all that. But there's we just got to find that fine line of crossing it to taunting to creating a fight, so to speak. So, I think there was that part. I think the refs were kind of a little bit nervous as well because like everyone did, they all searched up and saw some of the stuff that's on social media, which probably put they were already thinking of potentially what could happen, and it really didn't happen. But I think there was certainly people there testing boundaries as well, like people that were trying to see what
kids. Do you mean parents and everyone else in general?
I think everyone in general. Yeah, I think everyone was just kind of they were expecting AAU to be loose, and that's where I feel we want freedom, not loose as in. You get away with stuff or it's okay because AAU. No, it's like I think it's basketball, and we try to kind of say the right call is the basketball call, not AAU, not basketball Queensland, not this. There's no differentiates. It's just
basketball.
It's basketball, yeah, basketball right. So just ref it as how you see it. Like I think that's the hard one. Is like it's always a issue where you're dealing with humans, you're dealing with people to make decisions and opinions. So you're never going to get a consistent level because that's up to that interpretation of what happened.
Yep.
Do you know what I mean? So, but we can also coach, guide, and help that the understanding of what not to call. And most people have been really receptive to asking questions and understanding and trying to get it right. Okay. So that when you think about 40 teams. I think it was just under
40. That's
it. I don't know, 140 games or something. I don't know, something like that. To 108 teams, 315 games. You know, I mean, you think about the refs required.
Almost tripling everything, double, literally.
Yeah.
Wow.
Think of the volume that's required to be able to deliver that and deliver that standard that we ask for. It's hard.
So you had to sit down with all the officials, all the refs. How did that work?
So it's a complete private event. So I hire someone to manage all that, and that's my point of contact. And we have communication right through every morning before we start. What did we learn? What was what do we need to discuss? What do we need to change? Is there anything any issues, any problems, you know what I mean, that we can kind of work through. So we're always evolving. Like you're always learning, and I think that's the part for me. Is that you're always going to be humble and listen. Like I never think that I know more than anyone. Like I just listen and learn and go, cool. That's a fair point. Good pick up. Let's address it because you never know until it happens, right? And I think if you go at it like a bull in a gate, like you're just going to ask for really not a good result, right? So for me, the way to approach things is always about listening and learning and kind of evolving with everyone so that you can see that everyone's trying for the end product is for everyone to leave and have an amazing experience and added value to their basketball game. Like that's the ultimate goal.
Yeah, so you put the right people in place.
Yeah. So you surround yourself with good people, good things happen. Like that's the way I look at it. So yeah.
How did you get it to double this year? What?
So like and do you know what the funny thing is, right? It doubled just off socials. We didn't really like go advertising. Do you know what I mean? Like it was just off my Instagram account.
Right, so I missed it. You're the organizer, like it's your thing, or?
So I own AAU in Queensland.
Okay, awesome. Yeah,
so managing director of AAU in Queensland. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, no, that's okay. Sorry,
Yeah.
just
not Australia, Queensland.
Well, you gave me a bit of background
Yeah.
of how you wanted to start it because it started off in Melbourne.
Yeah, it started off in Melbourne. Yeah. I started Game Elements. It was just a vehicle to be able to get my son to play basketball. Basically, I was just saying, like, he's in the Queensland system. We make SPP and all those, but then get cut. And then at the end of when you get cut, it's like, well, what's next?
Yeah.
And so knowing very much like as responsibility as a father, he's got a drive. So my job's to, help him with his passion. And there's just there was no avenue at that.
No other pathways.
No other pathways, right?
Besides
if you,
Queensland.
Queensland. So, and you've got to be lucky enough to be in that top 30 to be able to get those extra trainings or whatever. But outside of that, and I don't think all associations have kind of opportunities for development. So I just wanted to kind of drive something. So I knew AU was in Australia. Didn't know a lot about it in Australia, but I knew it was around before COVID. Then it disappeared and then came back. Okay. And then I just created Game Elements as my brand.
Yep.
And then that was my vehicle to be able to take kids. So I took one team to Melbourne. Within 3 months, I took 5.
Yeah.
I took a girls team, made AU kind of bring girls into the fold because that was a massive. I've got a daughter who plays. So that was a big important part for me as well, is to bring girls into the basketball.
Yep.
And then while I was down there, I just said, look, I want to run a tournament. In Queensland. So. That was my kind of test to kind of say if I can do that, and then I got the license, and then took that role as the which there's only me and them, so I'm on the board of AU as well, so I've got a good seat at the table to help grow that
different pathways,
into it.
We talk about that all the time.
Yeah. So and probably that the I'll just say one other thing why I did it is. And we may cover it all in one of you, but the one biggest thing that gets my gripe is that people say we do too much basketball, we do too much sport. So I just want to put this one example. So Rocco's team, so they're under 14s down there last year. They were playing against their top team that we could not beat them.
Yeah.
So that was just this. You beat all these teams, then you come to this, and they were a mix of like state, like they were Knox players and all that type of stuff. And they would come together, and we couldn't beat them, and we beat them. And then they had this kid. He was 6 foot, I reckon, probably 6'7". And on the final day, so this is a grand final day down there, he had gone and played 2 games of AFL that morning, and then came over and played 2 games of basketball in the afternoon. and our boys are whinging. They only play 2 games of basketball down there.
Yeah.
Fully time, like not not fully time, just
running clock.
club. Yeah. And they're whinging because how physical, and then these boys down there are just
playing all the time.
So that was my realization that no, it's not. That's not the issue.
Yeah.
The issue is people who want to play will play, and the people that want to have excuses why they can't play. That's the way it is, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So down there, the other thing was there was so many tournaments down there. So it's not only they play their rep, and I could be wrong, so anyone can quote me, but they play their rep pretty much 3 terms all year round down there. They don't do what we do. We play 16s and then 1 term, 14s 1 term, 12s 1 term. Like so down in Melbourne, they play all year round.
Yeah.
So they're getting like way so much more basketball.
Yeah.
So that was probably my main motivation to put a tournament on. I just wanted to be able to give something to all the kids that weren't playing basketball.
Yeah.
That was probably
who would like to. Yeah.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, it's a choice, right? I'm not.
You don't have to make him. You don't have to make him turn up.
I'm just saying I'll have a go, and so probably to your point before, why there's 40 even to 108.
Yeah. So the last year was you said 40 teams.
Yeah.
This year doubled.
Yeah.
And I was asking why.
With like 2 or 3 interstate teams and all the rest were local teams, compared to my one in the one in Spring Baptist had about 25 interstate teams.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So you know what I mean? So if you take it like we're not even touching the interstate yet because they can't, because that Dandenong Classic, a lot of them can't come up here because they're doing that down there. So it's at the same time. So, and then you think about the level of that competition that you just watched, which is at a higher level.
Well, I was saying compared to last year, the level has stepped up.
It was
it
was crazy.
In all the age groups. And I was saying, last year, I was shocked by it. It's a bit wild.
Yeah.
Well, no, wild. Just I was shocked at the strictness of the refs and all this, and in terms of like, you say anything and it's but the basketball style was free, yet kids, in my opinion, last year weren't like invested in defense even.
Nah.
This year, in all the age groups, I saw a much higher level in terms of kids were actually just trying to win and moving the ball and all this.
Yeah.
And so I was surprised by it this year, and that's when I was asking, okay, how did that happen?
Yeah,
why did that happen?
That was kind of
what was going on with that? So that was really cool. But you said social media was. You said social media was.
That's it. Like so as in the form of advertising, it goes on the AAU website. That's it, and then it's just whatever I do on socials to try to grow it. No, that's generated from that. That's all.
Awesome. Word of mouth.
Like there's, like I take a lot of pride in my product. I take a lot of there's a lot of countless hours that we do to make sure it hits where I feel it needs to hit. And as I said to you before, like I'm always learning. I'm always open for conversations and anything that anyone thinks that can add value. I'm listening and I'm applying because I don't think that it's perfect. You know what I mean? There's always opportunity. And I think that's what makes you a better person, is being able to listen to people and take feedback. And that's the bit of the world where I come from. And in my work world with Woolworths and things like that, you gotta be able to learn to work with people, listen, learn to better.
Did you hear about it, KB, in any way, or
AAU tournament?
Yeah,
just when the kids played in it.
Yeah. All the kids from our school.
Yeah.
We always talk about creating different pathways, and we've had an
Other
example of that.
options and
We've done that as well. I gotta ask about the social media aspect. Do you think it's changing the way kids see the
100%.
game because they want to be
100%.
online? Like we always talk about, like bringing the cameras out brings a whole different element to
100%.
how the kids approach basketball. Have you noticed in your kids at Game Elements, is it changing the way it's being played, in your opinion?
I don't know if it's changing the way it's being played, but it's a massive factor into so like how people live. Like, do you know what I mean? Like social media, like I got my son on his phone, and like he's coming to me all the time. Like they're just constantly looking and seeing, and but I think there's a difference between social media that like I would put out compared to social media in America would put out.
What's the difference?
Well, I mean, there's a lot of, what I try to capture is the emphasis of the sport and the game and the players. Whereas, my son will come to me about, some AAU tournament in America, and it's like, everyone's storming courts, everyone, highlighting some person, and it'll be. It's just that type is just different, which is the culture that we're trying to balance between of allowing that to happen, but not let it go too far where it's like, I think it's taken away from the game of basketball to a point.
Yeah.
So that's where like what I try to do is I want to give back in social media as in I want to give back, positive things with social media. So like Next Gen cover my whole event, and they do a really good job at trying to, give back to the players, the photos and all that type of stuff. And for me, it's more about trying to give back mementos to the kids and like making them feel special and making them feel valued in what they're doing, not in an environment where it's just a circus where they've got police holding back people on the courts and things like that. And I think there's a
line.
difference. Like that's the line where
there was one thing I had to tell my team: don't do that. So after a win, there's this culture of if there's one guy that could dunk on the team.
Yeah.
Right after the win, they go get in their little huddle.
Yeah.
And make the other team just chill and watch. And one person would go dunk.
Yeah.
And they would all run and jump in.
Yeah.
And do this like before even shaking hands.
Yeah.
I didn't. Maybe it's a new culture thing. I didn't like any of that. So I remember we won one game. They're about to do it. I'm like, whoa, like what are we doing? Go shake hands.
Yeah.
Like what is going on? But so I guess that's what they wanted. I don't know. Is that? Am I wrong in that? I don't know.
So that's definitely something that's.
Would you let your team do that?
No,
it's not a question for me. Like we're there to test ourselves, see how good we are, and then if you win, great. If you lose, you get better. But like the celebration, you celebrate while you're playing because you're good at basketball. Like, you don't throw a party because you won one game.
Yeah, because you won one, but.
You know what I mean? Like you shake hands, do this, do that, whatever. But like, I don't know. We wouldn't do that.
It's different.
Not everyone. Right?
Not every team. Not every team do it. I just remember my team was about to do it. I'm like, what's going on? What are we doing?
Because I think it's more about the celebration. You know what I mean? It becomes more about the show rather than actually being good at basketball. And
well, you got to be able to back it up too, right? Like, if you can't, some people are doing stuff and like they're not even in a position to be
like you're not good enough to.
I don't but yeah, like you've got to be able to back up. You can't just go do that and then turn.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. I think that people are just doing it.
Oh.
You know what I mean? Like, and that's the problem as well. Like, it's not. I mean, if you're really, really good at basketball, then you're probably so disciplined and focused that you're not, showboating, mucking around too much anyway. You know what I mean? Like, because then you really, unless you're, and we don't have anyone in Australia like that, but that elite who can still do that. Like the Ball brothers and all those kind of people who end up in the NBA. Like we don't have anyone on that level. So, it's there's no one good enough who can showboat at that level and perform.
Why don't we have anyone at that level? We've been saying this for years. Why don't we have anyone who's that good that they could just do whatever the hell they want? Is Josh Giddey the last one who was killing everyone and
can't shoot? So how good is he? I mean, you can say he's great, but I just disagree.
He's about to be the Australian starting point guard.
Yeah, and they'll let him shoot all day.
Yeah. Okay. Who?
And then they can dunk at the end of the game when we lose. They can all get around and watch Josh Giddey or one of Dyson Daniels get a dunk at the end. Awesome.
Dyson Daniels is completely different. I've seen him. He looks super focused.
I was going to say Dash Daniels is pretty awesome as well. I reckon
who's Dash?
His brother. I reckon he's
That's a younger one. That's better.
I reckon he's probably a little bit better. I reckon
he's better.
Yeah.
How tall is he?
I couldn't tell you. I just remember watching him at the under-18 nationals at Brendale when he was up.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, just like
it's really good.
Yeah, really good.
Nice.
And I saw like I think at that level, like I don't know, it was pretty good.
Are you paying attention to any of the the tournaments going on right now, under 20s, under 18s, and that?
Yeah, well, I just watching a little bit of it, a little bit. Vic Metro seem to always be the ones that to beat. Be interesting. I think Queensland just made it to semis. I think.
Okay.
But they dropped some games, which is quite interesting.
Boys and girls both made it.
Yeah. So that'd be interesting. Yeah, I don't know.
You say you have a daughter as well who's playing.
Yeah, I do.
What age group now?
So she's 11. So she's just done her first rep season on 12, and has just done her first trial for under 14. So
Nice.
yeah.
Now, the girls in Australia usually can hit the top, and usually
We have
really talented girls. Is their development program better? Or is it just, what is that? It seems like the top of the top girls can go compete with
Yeah, I mean, they've medaled
Americans.
a number of times at the Olympics and stuff like that, if that's what you're meaning. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah. We have a lot of starters, I guess, in WNBA.
So why don't we invest in that? You were saying that there's no...
Well, again, and please, I'm not saying AUs. Sometimes I go to myself I'm just a tournament. Do you know what I mean? I just putting on a tournament,
put on a show, and
for people to come
play more basketball.
Yeah, that's kind of where I feel. But what I want to say that is the representation of girls at this tournament was amazing.
It was cool.
It was awesome. That probably, I went to America for Christmas. And one of the reasons it got to 108 teams was because we were roughly around about 80, and then I'm not kidding. There was probably just over 20 girls team registered like that.
So good.
And I'm not going to say no to that. So I had to problem solve on how do we make this work, because the girls' basketball is a non-negotiable for me. It's something that it needs to be up there with the boys, and you can't not do it. So
well, it's untapped. You know what I mean?
Yeah, spot on.
Women in sport, that's where growth is. Financially, numbers, all those things. If we can get percentage of women in sport, and then women supporting sport.
Yeah.
So women don't earn a lot, but let's get, women are 50% of the population. Let's get them to games, supporting other women, paying for tickets, celebrating sport, and wages will go through the roof for the female athletes. But I think
my best friend has 3 daughters, and you want it to be the same.
Yeah.
You want it to give them the same opportunities as the boys, and sometimes you can see that where the boys get more opportunities than girls, and it's not right all the time, right? So, and part of me is I want to make sure that my daughter and his daughters and whatever the people that are close to me know that have an option to play basketball in a tournament that is the same as boys.
That's
and
cool.
And one of the coolest things out of that was I think under 14 girls team was from Northern Territory, Elevate.
That's awesome.
Oh, nice.
And they won. Do you know what I mean? So that's awesome. When you see this,
because they would have even less opportunities being in the Northern Territory, to come down and participate and be welcome. You know, it's hard to break into tournaments that have strict rules for eligibility.
Yep.
And you're in the Northern Territory and you're trying to find out where you can play. That's awesome.
So that's a pretty cool. And a lot of people won't know a lot of these stats, right? Obviously, because it's my tournament. I know what's going on, but there was some cool teams, man. There was some really cool girls teams that was, and I didn't see many girls teams that were blowouts either. You know what I mean? Because for me, that's kind of what I look at is, if there's blowouts, then we need to relook at things. But because
relook as in get rid of the teams getting blown out.
Well, no, I think it's more about everyone asks me why is there no divisions. Well, there's no division for a purpose, because it should be about freedom of you coming in and playing with the best team, and the best team wins, right? If you then
and you have an opportunity.
Yes.
You may not be that good, but where are you going to play against these people who are good?
It's
better
a good
than
point.
you.
So that was going to be another point I wanted to bring up today, was the fact that out of that tournament, there was a tournament a week ago. Before that, the under-18 state champs, where you got Premier League down to Div 8 or what have you.
Division 7.
Div 7, whatever you. So all those players were playing against each other in one thing. And
they don't get to see the...
But that's what's
survive,
cool.
right?
They can... Because they're sorted through history, through, you've always played Division 1, you're in Division 1 again.
Yeah, that's...
there's a little bit of nepotism, there's a bit of favoritism, there's a little bit of history. Whereas, as soon as you break that down and say, well, you can form any team you want, can you play basketball? And then they get an opportunity to show they can, and they go, okay, so just because everyone labels me as Division 7, I just beat these Division 1 guys or girls, and, I can play. So it's a way, I think it's great because it's a way for people to see that just because somebody doesn't believe in your talent or recognize your talent, you can find somewhere else where you can actually put on a show, and everyone's like, oh, okay, no, you're a baller. Like,
yeah,
I think it's that, but I also feel like they still keep that stench on you. Hey, they won with a bunch of D something guys.
Do you about yourself, your team?
Yeah. But it's all about me. You know this, KB.
They say this.
That's why I brought him in here. Come tell us how good we were.
You guys won with a bunch. They'll always do that because that's how the system works.
Yeah, it's bullshit.
But they pick who they like. They pick, and then they invest a lot of money through programs and trips down to Australian camps and AIS, and Australia invests in them, and then
to keep that look.
Well, because you just keep investing in the same kids because you already started investing, and it starts at such a young age because the KPIs for Basketball Queensland high performance is 15s and 17s, so you got to be an elite 14-year-old, which means you got to be overdeveloped, overtrained, and then you go through all these systems, so now you got experience playing at international level. So it's really hard to bring in someone who doesn't have that experience because we think that it's above them. And then 15s usually make the 17s.
Yeah.
And then from there, someone else will come through and other people will be better than them. They go to college or something like that. And then those kids kind of disappear. But from a junior point of view, you just keep investing in the same kids, give them experience, and then the justification is the kids we invested in and gave experience have more experience than the kids we don't. So we're going to go with the kids with experience.
Yeah.
So there's no way in.
So they don't want to put the work in to teach the new kids.
But we have limited resources. We're just going to put all our resources into these 10 kids or 5 kids or whatever it is. So when you have an AAU tournament or you have other people who are interested in investing in kids who have a passion and maybe higher ceilings, then it's about how do you give them experience so they can then if they do get opportunities, can compete at different levels and have the skills and have that. And that's the, as I do, like first time when we went to Taiwan and we're playing against professionals, it's all basketball, but it's a different level of basketball.
It was.
The second game, you're better. The third game, you're better. The fifth game, you're better.
Yeah.
And then the guys that backed up the next tournament, they were better than the guys who'd never seen it before because they knew what to expect. Because everyone always played here and they justify this is really good basketball. It's fine basketball. It's just not the level that was required. But then those who had experience and knew the difference were able to perform at a higher level. So there is some merit to the experience thing, but the question is, how do we give people experience, Northern Territory is a great example, that they wouldn't have inside their state so they can get better. So Northern Territory always comes last, like, nationals. And the main reason isn't talent. Is the fact that they're so isolated, they don't get enough experiences to know different styles of playing. And so, them coming down and, at that age level, and if they can go to Dandenong or they can go to Canberra or they can play all these other, plays overseas, they're close enough to their Asian countries, they should just do tours.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, these young kids, well, they just know how to play at that level. And they're getting experience that no one else is getting, and they have a chance. So it's... I think it's such a good idea to actually find a way to expose people and give them opportunities that the system naturally won't. But
how you guys navigate communicating with the system when you're trying to expose your kids to working outside this, not outside, I'm not saying completely outside, trying to when we try to set up games for St. James,
give them different opportunities
throughout the year.
Yeah.
What's the communication like with setting up those games with games or partnerships, opportunities, or whatever you want to call it? Kind of because you guys run stuff. I'm trying to see.
Yeah, but how's AAU? I don't know how you guys. Do you guys have anything to do with BQ? No. Neither do we. We don't have anything to do with. But there's
BQ. Like I have this thing where I just feel everyone can coexist. There's I'm not here to steal no one. I'm not here to go. make anyone's life any difficult. All I want to do is put kids on a basketball court so that they feel valued and they feel that it's adding to their whatever their dreams are, whatever pathway I can provide to help them get there is what obviously I want to do. We have Basketball Queensland refs come and use what so I welcome everyone, but there's a way for us all to coexist and for us to have opportunities to. It's about this, right? Networking. It's about meeting people. And being open, right? Like I'm never going to be a closed book. I'm always going to open anyone in my house, like my family, because that's just the person I am, and I feel that's how we all can. We're all got the common goal, then we can all work towards that.
Yeah.
I think the minute that you have that sense of arrogance about you and all that, then that's when you kind of drive people away, right? Like so, you don't want to do that, and ideally the AAU platform will always be there, and hopefully it opens doors for more people to play, from a higher level or from all around Australia. I got people from Fiji on my case that want to play, people from New Zealand. So it's the thing that I've learned out of this is just take the AAU aside. I've learned that so many people just want to play more basketball.
Yeah.
And want to play high level basketball.
Yeah. And not have to go through the same systems that are already in place.
Yes.
We just want to play.
Yes.
Where can we play? Oh, you can put a team together. Oh, okay. This is cool. Let's do that.
Yeah. So that's what I've found in the short term of doing this is the evolution of it's gone such a rate of knots. It just shows you that the people are looking for it and the people want to do that. Yep. And there was a lot of people, there was 3 Australian players at my tournament. There was multiple Queensland players.
Reps,
you know what I mean? They
still love basketball.
They still love basketball.
They just want to help more.
That's true. They want to play with their mates as well. You know what I mean? Like instead of putting a setting.
Without the system and the stress and the pressure, it's like we're trying to win, but we're
you know what I mean? Like I look at a prime example as my game elements. Like my 16 boys have won the last 2 years. There was a lot of pressure on them. They're all bottom ages. I said, boys, you just got to go have fun. Just forget about the whole thing and and trying to be someone that you don't have to be. There's no one's. As me, I couldn't care if you win or lose as long as you boys had fun. And then I saw. So this is just some examples. So on the first day, I had a coach message me, can't coach, like I'm like, oh shit, right, I got to find a coach under 14, like last minute. And my son Rocco comes to me and goes, hey Dad, I got you. And I go, and the next thing you know, my wife comes over to me and goes, look at Rocco. I'm like, mate, he has a smile from ear to ear. Yeah. He is with these
coaching.
Coaching.
Yeah,
yeah, man, he's coaching. He coached them to. He coached them to final. He's 15.
Yeah. So just had the confidence to make it happen.
Understands the game, has a very high basketball IQ, can just articulate, and dealing with some kids that probably have some attitudes, what have you, not a problem. Just work through it, and he coached them to semi-finals. And I look at that and I go, that's the prime example of what I'm trying to do is to keep kids off the streets, keep kids engaged.
It's almost like giving the game back to the players. You know what I mean? Like instead of it being administrators or high-level coaches or you've got to jump through these hoops, it's like, let's give it back to the players and then see what happens with it. Like it's pretty...
Yeah, because if he doesn't do that, those kids don't play.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And no one asked him, the confidence that players will get from these type of scenarios for the workforce, for life skills, because that's where, for me, the end result is how do you conduct yourself in the real world? And that's all of us will have some influence on some children or kids or whatever that will hopefully give them skills to survive at the game of life. And that's.
I noticed it wasn't just your team. I actually noticed that there was a lot of young guys coaching.
Yeah.
Like some of the Adelaide teams, I came down.
I just think like that concept just. Giving the game back, to the people who love it. Yeah. Because I think that old people, these associations.
You guys.
Like the are you new age? You're as old as I am, Atem. You're as old as I am.
Secret is out, man.
But like giving it back to because associations and the old heads and the boards and the presidents and the GMs, they're in control of the game. Whereas. giving it back to the players, then we'll see an evolution in basketball. Like, what is it going to look like if 15-year-old kids coaching? I don't know, but I guarantee the players are going to have to play. They're not going to be like, tell me what to do. They're like, what are we doing out here? I don't know, just go get it. And they're like, okay. And then now there's evolution in basketball, and maybe that's what's holding us back, is that we're still so regimented with the AIS, with the systems. You've got to do it a certain way. Where's the creativity? Where's the personal ownership? No one comes out and, is Caitlin Clark or just shooting threes from 3 meters back because, hey, that's a bad shot. So no one even tries. Whereas if you gave the game to the kids, maybe you get 1 out of 1,000, and all of a sudden you get someone who's exceptional. Or because why?
Because they have the chance.
Yeah, and they're allowed just to ball out rather than have to play a certain style that's ratified by an adult figure that, ticks the box. You're a good kid because you listen to me. And so, giving the game back to the kids and to the players, not the kids, the players, the boys, the girls, the people who want to play, who love it, give it back to them. We'll support you. We'll offer, we'll give you the structure. We'll do the draws, the prizes, the advertising. But this is your game. Go and, the refs, but this is your game. See what you got. I think that's the most different concept that, is out there. That's cool as.
Yep.
Are you guys passionate about that because of your experience growing up playing basketball? I never asked about your basketball, or is it through watching your kids come up through it? I notice talking to kids now, a lot of the things I say is based on how I was treated or whatever, which I don't know if it's right or wrong because it could be all different. But
it's definitely a different world. It's definitely a different world from when I grew up playing. There wasn't the accessibility of courts. There wasn't the pickup games and the things, and even just what you're doing up there. That wasn't around. Like, you were either at that level or you weren't at that level. Like, that was pretty cutthroat back.
Yeah. Less teams. There's like one team, one rep team.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
One opportunity.
Yeah, and associations in Brisbane. I grew up in Townsville, so I played my basketball up there. But down here, I still did basketball. But it still was not as many associations. It was very definitely a challenge, I think, to play at a higher level when I grew up.
Okay.
Whereas I just feel
it's a different world.
Well, I just feel it's a choice today, right? People choose to either do it or don't do it. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, if you want to find basketball, you can find it. If you don't, you won't. You know what I mean? Like, even like playing computer games and all that type of stuff, right? Like, there's so many kids that are probably caught in that culture because that's what they're used to doing. And there's others that will just, if they're not playing. So last year my son did AFL for a season. He wanted to try that. So as long as he's doing as much as he was doing his whole basketball commitments, he was doing AFL on top of that. Yeah, do you know what I mean? So, but then I know there's other kids that's just sports just not them and whatever. Yeah. So I think the basketball is definitely just different, and I feel there's a little bit more probably pressure in today's world because of social media, because of
socials.
And you think that it looks a certain way. Basketball looks a certain way rather than realizing you can just play with your mates and have fun. And, you don't have to be on show. I mean, if you want to put yourself out there and be on social media, knock yourself out. But you don't have to. You can just play. You can just learn. You can just have fun and have these amazing experiences, win, lose, or draw, and walk away and go, that was an awesome 4 years, and now I'm doing whatever it is I'm doing next. Like, rather than... there's a lot of judgment, which team do you make? Which program you in?
Like a lot of club hopping, a lot of the loyalty's not there, right? Yeah. Like, it's just people want it now. They're not prepared to wait. And I've seen it even game elements. I've lost a lot of players to other brands. And for me...
shout out to Oscar.
Yeah, Oscar. But I don't really care. Like, I'm not that... I just rebuild. Whoever wants to play. Yeah. Like,
who's Oscar?
Oscar, he's up there now. He... No, he's not up there right now. Actually, I didn't see him. He is up there right now. He was in the blue. He's coming to St. James now. He's a little white kid. I didn't want to describe him that way.
Okay, I've never seen him.
He's up there. He's wearing the blue shirt, I think.
He played for...
played for you last year. Came to the...
came to you, the winners. The champions. Is that what you're saying? Damn.
Hey,
nice.
I want to get away from the serious questions, but can I do one last serious question?
Yeah, you seem like a serious guy.
Super serious question.
Yeah, because you're a winner.
Yeah,
and winners have serious questions.
By the way, Kobe said kids are playing too much basketball.
Kobe who?
Right.
Brian, dude.
Man, there's a lot of, everyone named their kid Kobe.
Everyone named their kid
you know what I mean?
Kobe.
Like, you're like, Kobe said, I'm like, bro, like, there's a thousand Kobes now. Which
Kobe
one?
said kids are playing too much basketball.
Yeah.
We've noticed a lot of European players have said that.
And the Americans are saying it too.
And the Americans are saying that too. You've seen American basketball.
Yep.
You've seen American basketball. You've gone to Europe as well. Gone to Asia as well. You've done a lot of shit. Gone to the Asia. You've seen the Asian side in Taiwan and
China,
and that.
Japan, yeah. China.
Damn. Hey, let me pick that.
You're a winner. You're a winner. just keep telling yourself, I'm a winner. I'm a winner. I want to talk.
You saw a lot of different styles. When you went to Taiwan, there was such a different style that I hadn't seen.
Yeah. It's all different. Yeah, so what's the
It's
question?
literally all different.
So in Taiwan, they train 6-7 hours a day.
Yeah, right.
Like every single day. So we were at this tournament. They would train for 4 hours before they played their one game with us.
Insane.
Right? And then, or if they play in the morning, they train 4 hours up. That's just standard though. No one's tired. So they do it all the time. Their bodies break down less because they're so conditioned.
Yeah.
And our guys are playing one game a day, 4 days in. Like, they're so intense. It's so intense. And these dudes, and our guys didn't know. So we rock up to play because we had a game off, and to play this is university teams, to play this university team, and they're 4 hours in before they played us in a scratch match. And our guys are like, and I said, yeah, they've been training for 4 hours. So you know all the guys you've been playing for the last week, they didn't have a time off. You're playing them after 4 or 5 hours of training. And our guys are like just can't comprehend it because they're tired, haven't played their little 20 minutes, you know. And so there's that way. But what that takes away, or I've seen takes away, is creativity and you know, feel and reads and all those things. But they're amazing intensity, commitment, you know, execution, all those things, structure. Yeah. But it takes away some of that, and only the top percentages of those university teams go to be pros because that's what they have. Yeah. So everyone has the regimented stuff, but they don't. Only a certain percentage are able to maintain their own feel, their own flow. And
my serious question was though, when you guys become I didn't get there yet. When you guys become
I'm glad you didn't forget
your system. You know, I'm trying to put you guys in hot water. That's why for social media, for the clips.
Yeah. So when we develop our system.
When you develop your system, people will...
I'm telling you, he's not playing.
Now,
you.
Yeah.
And anybody you know, Atem said I can play. Now you're out.
Well, the greatest thing is there's people who believe I shouldn't have been on the team that you took over there. A lot of people shouldn't have been on the team that you took over there.
Which went to Taiwan.
Yeah, because they say, "Hey, we beat them in when we played here. Why do they get the I've seen this once or twice.
Keep going.
That will happen to you as well if you have one division. There'll be kids that'll be like, "Yo, I killed him in such and such and such. Killed her and I beat. She's not at my level. Why do they get that opportunity and we don't?" So it flips, doesn't it?
So you're asking, are we going to become the system?
Yes. How are you going to navigate?
You're saying
that?
If we select, you know, our people,
that
we like,
and
there's other people who think they're better than the people we like, technically we become Basketball Australia, and you know the other people become us. That's what you're saying. Yeah. And
is that a valid question?
And what's the question?
How are you going to navigate that?
It's a really good question to tell.
Oh, it's something you don't even care about to think of right now.
We don't really care about people. I don't care about people. What are you talking about, Jake? What's your answer? And then I'll give a 10-point answer.
I think that's something that it's important not to fall in that system. I think that's something that keeps me in check whenever I make my decisions, what we do.
Okay.
Because there's a reason we're doing this in the first place. So therefore, that's kind of my humbling experience is that at the end of that tournament, like I think you call me and I'm reflecting on what's just happened. I kind of reflect quite a bit about you know, what did I do wrong? What could we have done better? And what, you know, so that we keep ourselves in the trajectory of everyone wanting to be a part of it. And I think as soon as this is just my view, I think as soon as you just try to create something to satisfy people, you fail. Like for me, I shouldn't have to change anything just to satisfy people. I should be able to keep my vision on where I believe my vision is because that's why I'm doing what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So the minute that I start to change things to satisfy people, I failed. So that's why.
Yeah, just stay focused on your vision, and
yeah.
I mean, it's. I guess did you guys pick an All-Star 5 or an All-Star?
No.
So like it's when those things happen, and then people, McDonald's All American, and that's when it gets tricky. But I think that what I've always done, what we do is it's always about training.
Yeah.
Like who put the effort in, who turned up, and we're yet to have a team of people who everybody turned up, and I had to cut somebody because even though everyone turned up. And it's like, these 15 guys that all turned up to every session, I'm going to pick that kid.
Yeah.
Not yet in 15 years. So it's kind of like, I think that if you're going to make arbitrary decisions, like I like that kid, I'm going to pick them, then you can do that. But you're going to, and I say this, if you guys don't turn up, then I'll pick whoever I want. It's that simple. Because if you turn up and you've worked hard and you listen and that, then you're coming. But if you don't and you don't work hard and you don't do the things we're asking you to do and blah, 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 then I'll pick whoever I think is going to help us because it's the same thing. And, there's been a lot of kids say, I should have been in it. It's like, yeah, but you never turned up. Like, you probably are better than that kid, but you never turned up. So I'm not going to pick you. That has made it simple for me. But I think that, if kids actually, and adults for the Taiwan stuff, actually turned up to all the training sessions and were fully committed and all those things, then that would be a harder decision to make. So far,
hasn't happened yet.
No,
you guys are good.
And for me, from my perspective, like I'm putting on a tournament to help all the academies. So at the moment, for me, I feel my customers, like the academies and what have you, and I've got to try and make sure that I put on a great product that they feel they want to be a part of it because then it's them that's finding the players and regulating that. I don't necessarily.
Yeah,
that's nice. Nice to be the administrator.
Do you know what I mean? Like I just need to make sure that as long as I'm providing the product that everyone can participate in.
Because the academies have to deal with.
Then they got to do it.
Clever. That's
you guys
clever.
are good. You guys answered it amazingly. I'm done with the serious questions. I want to at least let's end on something a little fun at least.
Tell us about the tournament, how you won personally.
Man. Well,
because obviously you coach a lot, so it's a reflection on you.
Well, what I like is I'm not a professional coach, never been.
Yeah. You couldn't guess. Because you hold yourself so well.
Thank you. It's been great getting compliments. That's what I did it for.
It's because you're a winner.
And that's all I do. I've lost a lot.
Winners win.
But no. What I really enjoyed is those kids, they really did their own thing. I barely did.
Yeah, it's cool.
They literally did their own thing. They set everything up.
So you didn't control them and yell at them?
I did a bit of yelling because I can't control my emotions, but that was just to let them realize like the urgency you need to. It's hard to win.
Refocus them.
It's hard to win. Then refocus them.
It's hard to win.
And I took that from the people that I came under. The coaches that I came under who. I've seen them also have explosive moments from high expectations, and it's just I'm just reflecting how I was coached as well,
Yeah. And it's not a bad thing, but it's
winning.
Winning. You're a winner, and I think that what you got to remember is when a team wins, it's always the players. When a team loses, it's always the coach. But in this instance, I think it's safe to say that the level of coaching was at a level that allowed you and allowed those kids to perform at their best. If you weren't there, they'll probably just a ragtag group of kids who were Division 3,
Division 2 and 3
who could never play.
There was no way they would have made it.
You brought them together. And
that's what I'm here for.
Remember the Titans? What's another classic movie?
Coach Carter.
Coach Carter. Basically,
Coach I didn't put my hands on no kids. Just so I did not put anyone.
I didn't
shake anyone. No.
But like we're gonna make a movie out of it. Coming from Division 3, gold medal champions.
That's what
well done.
For.
Did you watch the YouTube
of what?
The game? Yeah, it was live.
No, I haven't seen it.
Yeah, so it's on my YouTube channel.
Oh, say less.
Yeah.
He's posted a few, clips. So.
I posted some things, but the camera was on me. It wasn't
I was waiting for you to say because I'm like, I've seen a bunch of clips that you posted about.
I'm not watching.
It was pretty cool.
With my camera. Hey, take a shot of this real quick. Here, guys, let's do this. That's all it was.
That's so cool.
That's all it was.
Oh yeah, so the whole thing it's actually pretty cool watching it back. So it's because full commentators, everything, the whole thing.
Awesome.
Those commentators?
Yeah.
What they say? I gotta say what they said about me. I gotta go.
You need to read.
So when we're talking about like the whole event, right? That's my give back to the players. Like, so if you make the final, it's fully
so good.
Commentators.
I would love to know what they thought of your coaching.
Oh, God, don't ask them,
No, they would have said.
Oh, on the commentators?
Yeah.
I wonder.
This guy knows his stuff, man. We've never seen this guy coach before, but
Man, we should get him to. We need him on our
we
side.
need him in Basketball Australia.
I think they're gonna say, and then I'm gonna leave all this nonsense you guys are doing.
Exactly.
I'm going to Basketball Australia.
You're gonna join Basketball Queensland.
What's up, man?
Finally, the job I always wanted.
Man, that's what I'm trying to do. But I mean, there was a kid on our team that ended up coming to school here. And,
Which one?
His name's Coy.
Yep.
The coolest thing is, before that tournament, I asked the guys, who's starting, who's this, and they gave me their 5, and they didn't mention him at all.
Yeah.
And as the tournament went on, we put him in. We realized, okay, we need this guy to start because he was the level-headed one and plays amazing defense, or just all this cool stuff. And I really give him and all the other kids credit. They did all of it, but it was cool to see that he's not a known name anywhere that I know of, and he was out there holding his own against and running a team against.
Let's not mention him too much.
Yeah. Well, I want him to get into the system.
No, I don't want him in the system. Just leave him alone one more year.
I'll bleep that out.
One more year. Just
Give
one more year.
Yeah.
One more year here,
I'll bleep that out.
People can notice him next year.
If you guys had to, life on the line, you had to, because basketball is that serious.
Apparently.
From Australia, you're on the bench, you're playing a 3-on-3 tournament. You have to take 3 people with you from Australia of all time.
Of
all time. You have to pick 3 guys for you to roll with of all time, Australia, because it's easy to do NBA. We're all going to pick Michael Jordan and Hakeem Olajuwon and Paul Pierce. That's easy.
3-on-3.
It's 3-on-3, but you guys are on the bench, obviously. So who do you want to take with you?
Well, Bogut.
From Australia. Bogut's one.
Yeah, 100%.
You're taking Andrew Bogut.
Yeah.
You got 2 more.
Yeah.
It's a great question, I know.
Paddy Mills. Yeah, probably Paddy Mills. I'd say he'd be definitely in there.
Yeah.
Sam McKinnon. There you go.
Nice.
That's what I do.
I've never seen Sam McKinnon. He was like that.
Before your time.
Yeah.
I mean, I love his son. His son is that.
Yeah, Max is
that's
good.
my guy.
Yeah.
Max is good. Okay.
He's killing it.
Okay. Sam McKinnon,
Bogut.
Patty Mills,
Mills and Bogut.
Andrew Bogut.
Yeah.
It's your squad.
Yeah, I reckon.
Yeah. I'd probably go
Young with.
Brock Modem, Karen Bairstow, and probably Patty Mills.
And Patty.
Yeah.
That's the common denominator.
Yeah. I think, because, Olympic Patty.
Yeah.
Go for Olympic Patty.
I like Paddy and Sam because they both debated in the Olympics, and they had ball games, their first games.
Yeah.
I remember Sam McKinnon doing that dunk. It was alley baseline.
So, no Shane Hill?
Nah.
No.
I think Patty's better than Shane Hill.
Sorry?
I think Patty's better than Shane Hill. You look at his Olympic record, I think that his ability to score is greater than Shane Hill's.
Shane Hill almost had a fight with Charles Barkley.
Yeah,
did you guys know that?
Yeah, he did.
Just
Yeah.
wanted to let you know.
That was the same game that McKinnon did the dunk. Yeah.
Who did he dunk on?
I don't know. It was baseline. I just remember baseline, Ali from Gaze, and I can't remember who it was, but that was the game that
Andrew Gaze.
Yeah.
Brock Modem dunked on Pau Gasol. Just so I understand. Right?
Brock
Yeah,
Moden's,
Olympics,
I didn't think of him as...
But I'm thinking scoring. He can score, shoot the 3, 6'10", 6'11". Bairstow's the same. Inside, outside.
You reckon your team's beating his team? You reckon his team's beating your team?
I just don't know about 3-on-3.
Yeah.
I think it's the format that would be interesting. And again, I don't think we got to see Bogut at his best,
Nah.
in 5-on-5. great defender, shot blocker, but he's got a lot of offensive skills that Golden State never went to. So I would love to actually know and watch him like in his prime.
I got to see him a couple of times play in the States when I went to games, and they were like, it was pretty cool.
He was a big part of
but like mostly he's played in the NBA at least, like as defender, passer and all that stuff. I just think he's a much better scorer than what he was allowed to show, because that wasn't his role. He's surrounded by shooters and so I think that he's actually a lot better in terms of offense than what he was able to, or in that system he was able to show. So it's hard to know. It's hard to know, what he's capable of offensively. So that'd be interesting.
You guys mentioned a lot of bigs besides Patty.
Yeah, you need
Andrew Gaze.
Well, Sam's more of a.
He's a 4. He's only 6'4".
Yeah, still big. Really?
But he played 4.
Yeah,
4 man.
Yeah,
but he was athletic.
His hops were the thing that got him
back in the day.
Yeah.
If you had to take,
there's not a lot of guards. There's not a lot
3
of good
guards
Australian
besides Patty. Like.
Oh, what's his face? That guy, the guy that destroyed the Olympics from Australia, that you never hear about. His game with P. His name. He was like he's in the FIBA Hall of Fame from Australia. A white guy.
It's always a white guy from Australia besides Patty. Sorry.
Is that Phil?
No, it's like it's Polinko or something. Let me look it up.
I have one more basketball question. While you're thinking of that, another fun basketball question, and that's, well, if we keep it in the same, who's the best one-on-one guy besides Patty? Patty's amazing.
Probably Andrew Gaze.
Best one-on-one guy to come out of Australia.
I think Gaze had all the offenses run for him. So one-on-one, not so much. They just ran constant shuffle for Gaze to get the shot every single time.
Yeah.
So I
thought he's 6'. He's got a good frame.
Yeah.
Long arms, long.
Great shooter.
Well, that's like when I one-on-one, like you could just shoot.
You could just shoot out.
You don't get it back.
I'm trying to think of other guards from Australia as well. The guy playing for Perth right now. Y'all got to grant him citizenship. MVP of the NBL past 3 years.
Bryce Cotton.
Bryce Cotton, man. Is he Australian yet? No. Not Australian yet. All right. He'd be up there.
100% he would be.
We rely heavily on imports. I'm just trying to think. For Gold Coast. Played for Gold Coast last year. Jason Kadee.
Yeah.
Kadee is up there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Compared to who?
In terms of guards,
Patty Mills?
I don't hear. We're saying beside, because we all know Patty is, especially Olympic Patty. He's carried Australia for a long time. Patty's number one guard. We've established that. Don't you want to go back on that? You want to go back besides the guy you're looking up right now? Damn, Jason Kadee's up there. Who's another guy?
He definitely would have been up there if he wasn't in that car accident.
Yeah. The trajectory. His trajectory was going up there. Huh.
I think I remember John Riley playing in the day. He was pretty awesome.
Was he?
Yeah, he was. He was just knockdown shooter, and he was just like, typical. Just push the boundaries. He could dunk. He could. Yeah, he was pretty cool back in the day. That was
besides basketball, he doesn't have a good eye for talent, in my opinion. Just saying.
Who's that?
John Riley. Just saying.
John Riley.
I don't think he has a good eye for talent. Just saying. Didn't pick me for something a long time ago. Sorry, I would still hold that grudge.
That's so funny.
Hey, really, come sit down. We'll talk about it. I didn't like what you did 10 years ago. But I heard he was really good. So no disrespect there. I'm just making it fun.
So Ed Polubinkis.
Who is that?
Australian former professional basketball player. He was a guard, so 6 feet. Went to LSU. Yeah, right. He's 1972. Got drafted in the NBA.
Oh.
So this is obviously before Australia was even in basketball.
Yeah.
The second leading scorer at the Summer Olympics in Munich. Overall top scorer in 1976 in Montreal at the Olympics.
Oh.
3 Olympic scoring records in Montreal for most points scored in a single Olympics. Oscar Schmidt was the only guy that broke his record. Oscar Schmidt, I don't know if you know, he's a Brazilian guy who's unbelievable.
Hmm.
He had 48 against Mexico at the Olympics.
Baller.
Yeah. Okay. I reckon if he, I reckon he was pretty good. I think that he would take, he'd give Shane Hill a run for his money.
Shane was fun. Like he was definitely up. Like
he was aggressive and confident and got his shots up.
Shooting from deep.
Yeah.
Like one of the first guys.
A lot of good things about what he did on the court.
He'd probably get heaps of fouls and ones now, like kick his feet out.
It's true. And then technical fouls when they change the rules. That's it.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Huh. Okay. Well, anything else on you guys' spirit that you would like to get out? I'm done with my basketball questions. Anything on your spirit? Anything you feeling? Thank you.
No, thank you for having
me. Thank you, Dan Bolton.
Cool.
Thank you for showing up. That was actually awesome, man.
It's my pleasure.
And I love the basketball talk. That was awesome. Again, thank you, Kirron. Such Podcast. Peace.